अब आ रही है? अब आ रही है, ओके। इसका मतलब अब क्लियर है आवाज? एक मिनट, अब इसको करके और इसको लॉक करके स्टार्ट कर दूं? ठीक है, अब मैं यूट्यूब का लिंक खोल लूं, है ना? ओके। Yeah, hello everyone. This is Dr. Pooja, your original guru of biochemistry. So I hope this exam went well, because I just looked at the biochemistry question. Whether it is, I should say कि you people are fortunate or unfortunate, there were only 3 questions asked from my subject. And the questions, I just went through the questions. The questions were pretty simple. But yes, this time the questions were off the record, because nothing was asked from the metabolism. So first of all, let me ask you, how did your paper go? I can see some 19 students sitting here. Because the question, there were only 3 questions and they were pretty simple also. So, shall we start the discussion of the questions? Okay. I can see Dr. Jyoti Yadav. Now my voice is audible better? So, if we look at question number 1, see, the question says, yeah, the concentration of carbon monoxide in the blood is diffusion limited. Okay, now see, if we just look at the quality of this question, it's a very simple and straightforward question. Why carbon dioxide movement in the blood is diffusion limited? Because it has a very strong affinity with hemoglobin, and what will happen is it will immediately bind to hemoglobin. That is why it has a limited diffusion property. If we look at other options, partial pressure of carbon monoxide is more as it combines with blood, it cannot be the option. Carbon monoxide spreads through the blood, again it cannot be the option, because here they are talking about the limited diffusion, how the movement is made possible. And gas exchange is lower at the base of the lung, this is also not correct. So the answer to this question is straightforward, that it binds avidly to hemoglobin. It has a very tight binding capacity with heme. So the answer to this question is A. So how many of you got it right? Because this time, if I have to give the analysis of biochemistry part, I mean, like, I am pretty surprised, because there was no question asked on metabolism, which are actually the questions which should be asked in the exam. There is no question on rate limiting enzymes. There is no question, surprisingly, on vitamins also. So question number 1, answer will be A. Okay. Then if we talk about question number 2, calorific value of fats. Ab dekho, calorific or calorie. Calories are what? Calorie is the unit of heat, isn't it? And what we eat, we have 3 substrates in our diet. If we talk about carbohydrates, if we talk about proteins, and if we talk about fats. I'll just give you a comparative statement between them. First of all, let me answer to this question. ठीक है, calorific value of fat अगर हम देखें, so it is 9 calories per gram. So the answer will be simply B. Now, if we compare carbs, proteins, and with fat, carbs have 4 calories per gram. Proteins also have 4 calories per gram, but fats have little bit higher. What is the reason behind that? Because if you look at the structure of fat, fats are what? TGs. Means they are the triesters of fatty acid and glycerol. So the number of unoxidized carbon and hydrogen are more in fats in comparison to carbohydrates and proteins. So the answer is simple, 9 calories per gram. Okay, and another question which is somewhat related to this is about SDA. This question can also be asked, SDA, specific dynamic action. It is more of proteins than carbs and fats. right? So the answer to this question is B. So how many of you have got this question right? All of you? Because the main focus I have seen is on nutritional biochemistry. This question is actually from nutritional biochemistry. Calorific value, BMR, BMI, these are the frequently asked questions nowadays. Okay, then moving on to the third question. Extra carbohydrates are stored in the body as a very simple question. All of you must have got it right. It is glycogen. We all know that a 72 kg individual can store up to 108 gram of glycogen in the body. Rest options, if we see purines, no. Tyrosine itself is an essential amino acid which is produced from phenylalanine, and comes TFAs, trans fatty acids. They are altogether different. So extra carbohydrates are stored in the body as glycogen. अब इसमें the students can get confused between glycogen and trans fatty acids also. TFAs, actually what happens is, देखो, this glucose is being oxidized by glycolysis. Normal process is occurring. Excess glucose is being stored in the form of fat also, and it is stored in the form of glycogen also, but not in the form of trans fatty acids. Remember, and always remember, ये जो TFAs होते हैं, they are very very harmful fatty acids. Why? Because they always increase the concentration of TGs in the body, right? And they are much better than, you can say, the normal ones. So we should always avoid trans fatty acids in the diet. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, so these were the three questions. I hope the clarification of all the three questions is clear. Acha. SS Bros, okay, you got it right. Salt mine, you got it right, because these are very simple. I cannot say like that also. If you guys have any problem, you can ask me, because these are the questions which have already been asked in your exam. So I hope this time you guys, I mean, like, are ready to rock, and or you can clear the exam. Okay, so these were the questions from my subject. And if you guys have any confusion, you can just put your message in the chat box. Yeah, if you want to know something related to these questions. It's clear. You can ask, beta, if something related to this, if you want, so you can ask. वैसे तो you people have already done up with your exam, so right now तो you all are also not in a position to ask more questions. So I hope all these, the explanation of these questions, you got them right. So shall we wind up the session? If you guys don't have any problem, shall we wind up with the session? Because if you honestly ask me about the analysis of biochemistry, matlab somehow I am not convinced or satisfied with the questions asked in this subject. Because obviously you people must have prepared about, you know, the rate limiting enzymes, rate committed enzymes, and in fact we've been telling this frequently, that questions basically are asked on vitamins. Basically clinical cases are asked on vitamins. So this time no question has been asked so far. So no confusion as such. Right, Rani is also saying okay. Yeah. So chalo, I can only wish you guys luck, so that this time you guys clear the exam. Okay. So thank you. Very easy questions. That's why I am asking. Very easy questions were asked. So I am pretty sure that you people are going to crack this exam this time, isn't it? Can you please take session? Yes, beta, I can take session on most important topics also. So this time, though, it is just a discussion of the questions. This is just a recall session, but definitely I can take a session, and the time and all we will decide, and we will let you know. Be in touch with us. So definitely we will, guide you in that, because biochemistry is a very important topic. in fact important subject. So what all gist of these important things are there, I will be taking a separate session on that, and timing and all we will settle. Is it clear, Dr. Jyoti? Right? Right? So wishing you all the best for your results. I hope this time you are going to rock, because there are other subjects also, and I know you must have, because our notes, whatever notes we give you, they are like very, very important. Allopurinol is the inhibitor of enzyme xanthine oxidase. Okay, Saurav Roy, this is a very interesting question. And okay, basically I'll just tell you, and I have mentioned this in my videos also. If you have listened to my videos, ये जो allopurinol है, one second. This allopurinol, if we talk about this, you know that it is a competitive inhibitor of xanthine oxidase, isn't it? And allopurinol is a very important example of suicide inhibition. And I very well explained this to you in my class also. Why suicide inhibition, Saurav? Because what happens is, purines, they are degraded to form hypoxanthine. All of you are familiar with this reaction. Hypoxanthine is converted to xanthine, and xanthine is converted into uric acid. Right, and the name of the enzyme here is xanthine oxidase. First of all, why we call allopurinol as a competitive inhibitor? Because it is competitively inhibiting xanthine oxidase, correct? But if we talk about suicide inhibition, the definition of suicide inhibition itself says that this allopurinol, when it binds with xanthine, when it binds with hypoxanthine, it forms allohypoxanthine and alloxanthine. And these products are water soluble and they are excreted in urine. So suicide inhibition को हम क्या कहते हैं कि when an inhibitor is forming a more potent form than the original one, it is said that the body is committing suicide. Right. So your question is, allopurinol is the inhibitor of enzyme xanthine oxidase. This type of inhibition is suicide inhibition. Okay, so if you look at the options, if suicide inhibition is given and competitive is given, the most appropriate one is suicide inhibition. But if suicide inhibition is not mentioned, it has to be competitive inhibition. Got my point, Saurav? Always remember, because most of the students get confused between two things. I have given you a separate answer. Suicide inhibition ke there are only two examples in our body. One is this allopurinol and the second one is COX. Cyclooxygenase. Okay, so these two are the examples of suicide inhibition. If we talk about competitive inhibition, yes, allopurinol is an example of that also. Right? Any other question? Okay. So if there is no other question, shall we wind up the session? And yes, Dr. Jyoti, I will keep your this thing in mind, and definitely we are going to take a session on the main important topics. Okay, and time we will intimate to you. Chalo, I can see the strength is increasing. If you guys have any problem, please don't hesitate to ask me. No other question? Okay, so these three questions which were asked in your exam are clear to all of you, I hope. So wishing you guys all the best for your exam. And again, if you have got any doubts, you can ask us. We are attached with you on Telegram, on Facebook. So we are always there to help you guys. I hope this session was beneficial to all of you, because there was not much to explain. Only 3 questions were there. So that's it from my side. Okay. Okay ji, then we will end the session. So bye bye from my side and wishing you all the best again. Right? Chalo, fir bhi I am giving you, I can see the strength is increasing. So if you guys again have any problem, you can just, write and I'll solve. Otherwise, I'll say bye bye to you. Saurav, any other question? That's it. Shall we wind up now? So, okay guys. No. So, Saurav, if you have any confusion, you can ask me. I am there to solve the answers. Yes, ask. Any queries you can ask now. So that means since it was a recall session, no more questions from your side. So guys, I'll end up the session now. No questions now? Okay. So wishing you guys all the best. Take care. And once the date and all of important topics is decided, we will intimate to you. Okay.